Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Season 12, Episode 16. And let me just start off by saying that what we witnessed in this latest episode was pure evilness, and I'm not even being dramatic. I truly mean that. To see 5 grown women attack somebody to the point of a breakdown, my heart broke when Sutton was just sobbing like that at the very end. And it was so bad that even Garcelle was teary-eyed to see her friend be broken down like this. Kyle, Erika, Rinna, Diana, and Dorit have got to go. If any of them are back on for season 13, I will not be watching. And what a shame, because I've been watching Beverly Hills since the beginning. The double standards, the gaslighting, the hypocrisy is at an all-time high. And I feel like I'm going crazy every time I watch an episode. Y'all have a different set of rules for the Fox Force 5, whatever you guys want to call yourself, that stupid name. And then it's a different set of rules for Garcelle and Sutton. I wonder why. Kyle, I don't care if you are the only remaining OG on this cast. You will never and have never been that girl. Miss Sutton, I'm about to DM you a list of reads. I want you to print it out, memorize all them, because I hear that you guys are taping the reunion next week. Garcelle, the same thing for you. At this reunion, I don't want to see any of that, you trying to be graceful and being all polite and not cursing or anything. Let them have it. Let them know that you're not the one or the two. You have all the support from the fans. This is not the time to be nice. You have been through way too much, okay? Miss Erika was sitting up there cursing at your child. So if there was ever a reason to go off, now is the time. Diana, you've been a complete flop, and that's me putting it nicely. But I want you to know that you are going to go down as one of the worst additions in Housewives history. And I see that you want to sit up here and you're sending out cease and desist letters to YouTubers and bloggers. Girl, you're mad that folks are reporting on your disgusting behavior?
You're not fab like that to be doing all of that. Learn your place, earn your spot.
With all that being said, let's just jump right on into it, because you guys already know we don't have a minute to spare. So we open up this episode with it being 4 days before the Aspen trip, and we see Kyle and Dorit driving around together. So they're discussing Rinna's beauty launch party from the night before, and Dorit says it was a wild night last night. We learned from Kyle that they ended up going to the Polo Lounge afterwards and they got drunk. Now, I was laughing when I heard that they went to the Polo Lounge, because I said, oh, because if you know the tea about Kyle, Kathy, and Kim's mom, then you know that allegedly she was always at the Polo Lounge pretty much every night of the week trying to find a new rich husband. But I digress. And then they get on the topic of Rinna's extreme emotions. So Dorit says not having dealt with her mother's passing is probably just a buildup of emotions. So now Kyle brings up Rinna's behavior at Dorit's charity dinner. And she was like, yeah, her reactions were so extreme, because 1 minute I was like, Rinna, calm down. And then I was like, oh my gosh, you poor thing. Now, let me just stop for a minute, because I think it's so interesting that Kyle and Dorit have so much grace for somebody who's been so awful. But the minute that Sutton says one little thing, it's a problem. And before we go any further, many people have experienced the loss of a parent, including myself. Unexpectedly, I might add. Okay? And we have not lashed out at anybody. We have not screamed or cursed at anybody. We have not made asses of ourselves when we've been out in public. So to use that as an excuse, absolutely not. And I'll bet money that if Sutton were dealing with the same thing, y'all would not have all this grace for her. You'd be saying, well, I understand that, Sutton, but you still can't go around acting like that. So now Kyle brings up when her mother passed away, she was physically ill for 2 years, and she says she understands Rinna's pain and how everybody in the group needs to reserve judgment and give her some time. Grieving does not give you the right to lash out on anybody. That's just no excuse. And Kyle, how dare you? Because you're the same one who told LVP, well, you know, we all go through stuff, when Lisa Vanderpump was grieving the death of her brother. Like, the jokes truly write themselves. So now Dorit jumps in and she's like, I don't want Sutton to think that it's a pile-on because that's not fair. And I said, Dorit, girl, it's too late to try to save yourself in the court of public opinion. We all see what's going on. It is a pile-on. The 5 of you guys are bullying her. So now Dorit goes on to say that Sutton doesn't articulate herself the best and how, you know, her points don't land that well and how she's long-winded. I said, do people not see themselves? Dorit, you talking about Sutton doesn't articulate herself the best. That's you. You go on and on and on and you never make your point. Like pot meets kettle, because I'm not understanding. You have no authority to talk on somebody being long-winded. That's you. So here comes Kyle, because you know that she loves nothing more than to throw Sutton under the bus and say something shady. So she says, you know, I think with Sutton, she wants to be good with everybody, but it's like on one hand, she says too much and causes drama, and then on the other hand, she's too afraid to rock the boat, and she's just so difficult. I said, Kyle, you're a two-faced, disingenuous coward who loves stirring the pot. So not too much on Sutton. You're the wrong person to call anybody difficult. That's you. So now we jump to the next scene with Garcelle at home. She has a nice charcuterie tray prepared, some wine, some champagne, and we see nobody other than Diana arrive to her home. And I said, Garcelle, you're nicer than me, because Diana couldn't step foot anywhere near my home. That wouldn't happen. I don't even think that I would meet her for drinks in a public space. So Diana arrives at Garcelle's house and she's laughing because she's so hungover that her jumpsuit is on backwards. So now we see them laughing about the drunk pictures that Diana took of them when they were at the Polo Lounge. So they change gears in the conversation, and of course, the topic lands right back on Sutton. Garcelle says, you had expressed to me that you had wished that you had met me outside of Sutton. So of course, Diana can't wait to rip into Sutton. She's talking about, yeah, I mean, I'm just backing away because I just want to see if she's a malicious person and how, you know, she doesn't like Sutton. So Garcelle's like, look, that's my good friend. All I ask is that you give her a chance. So now Garcelle says that she's going to give Diana a chance and maybe there is a soft side to Diana. I said, Garcelle, please.
No.
First of all, I'm not begging anybody to be my friend or be nice to one of my friends. If you don't like my friends, then 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna like you. I'm not somebody who can be friends with somebody who has beef with my other good friend. Like, I'm not one of those people. I am one of those people who will pick a side. But I was thinking, Garcelle, I understand that your heart is in the right place, but Diana has made up her mind that she does not want to like Sutton. So because of that, why even beg Diana to give Sutton a chance? It was clear that she was fed a whole lot of lies from Rinna and other people in this group, and she came on immediately with a vendetta against Sutton. So no, I would not be sitting up there saying, oh, well, you know, give my friend a chance. I'm not doing that. So now they start discussing the Aspen trip. Diana says that she's excited for Aspen. And now Garcelle starts asking her why she's staying in a hotel instead of one of the houses with the rest of the other ladies. And Diana says, honestly, for me, staying in a hotel is best because I need to know the environment that I'm going into. Now, I hate to be on the same page with Diana about anything, but like I've told you guys before, I'm a hotel girl, so I get it. Like, I'm going to always choose a hotel. A 5-star hotel, let's be clear. But Diana being all extra saying that she sends in Ghostbusters and she has energy healers that go before her to the property to cleanse the energy. Then we saw a clip of her sending out energy healers to her vacation rental in Hawaii. So Diana says that she believes that people carry energy and it's important for her to, cleanse the energy. I said, Diana, before you cleanse any hotel rooms, you need to cleanse yourself because you have some of the most evil energy in this cast. So again, the lack of self-awareness is just killing me. But I definitely screamed when Garcelle was like, Diana, you're a nut job. I said, she sure is. Now this next scene with Rinna at home and her and Harry are going through her mom's belongings. We're gonna skip right past it because all I heard from Rinna were a whole bunch of excuses for her poor behavior. And her pretty much saying that she's gonna do whatever she wants because she's grieving. And like I told you guys earlier, grief is no excuse to start lashing out at everybody. So now we jump to the next scene with Kyle and Mauricio at home. They're outside, Kyle's playing with the dog, Mauricio's playing mini golf. And I have to say, as much as I can't stand Kyle, they really do have a gorgeous home. And the funny part is, they bought that home from Smokey Robinson. I said, I'm so mad that Smokey Robinson sold that home to them. He needs to knock on the door and say, you know what, I'll give you guys money to get out so that I can have the home back. So they start discussing the Aspen trip. Kyle's excited. She's asking about the plane that they've chartered. Mauricio says, oh, I got us a great plane. And then we find out that Mauricio is going to be tagging along because he loves Aspen so much that he doesn't want to see Kyle go without him. So he's going to be the only guy on the girls' trip. So anyhow, they now start discussing who's going to be staying where. So remember that in 2019, Kyle and Mauricio purchased a house in Aspen, and it's only 4 bedrooms and 4 bathrooms, so that means that all the ladies can't stay. So they also got a rental house down the street for the rest of the women to stay in. So Kyle says that the ladies staying in the rental house should like it because she got a private chef for them. It's big, it's beautiful, and it shouldn't be an issue. So now Kyle brings up Dorit staying in the rental with the other ladies, and she has her doubts about it since Dorit was so scared when they were in La Quinta. Now we cut to a parallel scene with Dorit and PK at home. Dorit is packing for Aspen, and she's also talking about the trip. So she's letting PK know that she's going to be staying in the rental house with Sutton, Garcelle, Cherie, and Crystal. So PK's like, oh, why aren't you staying in the house with Kyle? So she says that there's not enough space because Kyle only has 4 bedrooms, and she's going to be the good friend and just stay with the other ladies. Then Dorit adds that since Erika and Sutton are at odds, that it's best for all the ladies to be separate. And then Dorit starts talking about how she hopes that she should be okay in Aspen because of all the trauma that she's had since the robbery. And I have to admit, when she started talking about this, it just seemed very phony to me. It felt like she was trying way too hard to sound sad. I don't know. Maybe I'm just reading into it a bit too much, but it sounded kind of fake. So PK's like, you'll be fine, but just don't call me because I'm gonna be in London and I can't get on a plane and just be in Aspen like that because I'm gonna be away too. So I'm gonna need you to just, hold it down, be okay, and just take a few deep breaths. You could tell that PK wasn't here for it either. So now we flip right back over to Kyle and Mauricio at home. So now here goes Kyle bringing up something that has nothing to do with her. And she's like, babe, this is just so stupid. You'll never believe what happened. But Sutton and Garcelle both unfollowed Erika on Instagram. So then she says, I remember last year when Garcelle unfollowed me. And I was thinking, and you deserved it. Because the way you were acting, I would have unfollowed you too. So Kyle's like, it's just so stupid at her age. Like, we're just too old for this. And them unfollowing her sends a message. And I was thinking, yeah. And that message is, I don't like you. We're not friends. I no longer want to see your content across my feed anymore. People have a right to unfollow. Like, it's not a crime to unfollow somebody. I unfollow people all the time. I block people all the time. If you're rude, especially in my comment section, it's a block. I'm not going back and forth. It's just a block. That's my right. And personally, for me, I don't want people who don't like me to follow me. Because one, that's very weird behavior. So you should be happy if somebody who's hate following you decides to finally get some help and unfollow? Because why do you want hate follows in the first place? I know I don't. Again, I don't understand what the big deal is about Sutton and Garcelle preserving their peace and unfollowing Erika. So Erika can sit here and call them all sorts of names, curse out Garcelle's son, but yet it's a problem when they decide, you know what, I don't want any parts of it, I'm out, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm unfollowing. Like, Kyle, what's wrong with you? I'm serious. And I'm trying not to get angry, but I was just so livid. Like, why are you bothered by the fact that they're doing what's best for them? So now we see that it's 2 days before Aspen. All the ladies are packing, getting ready. We see a short scene with Crystal packing up. I think that her housekeeper, Lucy, is hilarious. Like, she really keeps Crystal in check, and I am here for it. So then we see Sutton packing with her assistant, and I couldn't stop laughing because he was trying to pack this huge Dolce & Gabbana jacket that she had. And when I tell you that jacket looked like a spacesuit, it was cute and all, but I was thinking, yes, sis, you're gonna need an entire separate suitcase just for that jacket. And then we see a short scene with Garcelle getting ready for the trip. She's FaceTiming Cherie, and Cherie, girl, you've been a big disappointment. I expected so much more from you. So anyhow, they're on FaceTime. Cherie is joking around about how she can't find any of her wigs for the trip. And then Garcelle brings up that she cannot stand Erika. She was so pissed at Erika at the disco party and how she doesn't want to speak to Erika, see her, be anywhere near her. I said, I know that's right, because I'm the same way too. If I don't like you, don't talk to me, don't look at me, I don't want to hear your voice, just leave me alone. And when she was like, she could be on fire, I wouldn't even throw water on her. And then Cherie was like, well, at least spit on her. So now we jump to the next scene, and we see that it's the day before the Aspen trip, and Crystal's at home, and she FaceTimes Garcelle. So she's like, hey girl, you know, what are you doing? You already know that Garcelle's at work. She used to be a host at The Real, and I'm so upset that The Real got canceled, but that's neither here nor there. So anyhow, Garcelle's on set at The Real, and Crystal's asking her if she's excited for the Aspen trip. So Garcelle's like, I guess. So Crystal says, girl, I feel you, but I have to say, I'm a bit nervous about this trip because did you see the latest scandal regarding Erika? So we see the headlines. You remember all last year, Erika and these $700,000 earrings, and we learned that these earrings were paid for from Tom's company. So Garcelle says, yeah, I saw the news and we had to speak about it on our show. So Crystal's like, oh my gosh, you did? And she's like, yeah, I mean, we talk about all things pop culture, like what's going on. So yeah, we had to speak about it and give our opinions. So then we learn in Garcelle's confessional that the episode is going to air after the Aspen trip. And I was like, well, thank God. One less thing to have to argue about while you guys are there. But honestly, I wouldn't care because one, me and Erika are friends. Two, I'm on a show. That's my job to give my commentary and discuss what I think about the latest news. So I really wouldn't care if the episode aired before or after because I'm still going to stand 10 toes down on what I said. So Crystal's like, I read the article and the article said that those earrings were paid from his company. Then she goes on to say that if that's the case, then those earrings need to go back because they could pay a lot of victims. And I absolutely agree with Crystal that those earrings should go back. You really have to be heartless to still want to keep earrings worth $750,000, knowing that innocent people were robbed of what was rightfully theirs. Like, there's something wrong with you to even want to keep those earrings. So anyhow, Crystal goes on to say that there's no way that Erika doesn't know that they've seen these articles. And then she goes on to add that when it comes to Erika, you know, if she wants to share information, she'll share it. But if she doesn't want to share it, then don't push it. And then we see a clip of when Erika lashed out at Crystal at the reunion. And Crystal, you are way too quiet because if I were you, I would have cursed Erika out. Like, who are you talking to? You're the one facing all these charges with you and your fraudulent husband. So you're the last person to snap on anybody, okay? I would have read her quickly. So now it is finally the day of the Aspen trip. Everybody boards Kyle's private jet. And then you have Erika talking about Aspen is for the elite. Like anybody who's anybody goes here. It's luxurious. It's just so much fun. And I was thinking, duh, we know that. Tell us something we don't know. And then when she said, I used to go to Aspen a million effing times in my own private plane. And I was thinking, girl, nobody cares about what you used to have. And you had a private jet on stolen money. So please, the planes, the yachts, the money, it's all gone, Erika. So deal with it. I'm always confused when she says certain things. I'm like, are you expecting sympathy from us? Because the only sympathy that I have is strictly for the victims. Girl, none of us are crying for a thief. So I don't know who you want sympathy from. So everybody's on the private jet. We learn that Kathy's gonna meet them. She's flying in from New York. And then Kyle starts going over the itinerary. She's like, tomorrow we can go skiing, and then we can also go shopping, like whatever you guys wanna do. And then she adds that tonight's gonna be a chill night, and they're gonna have some barbecue and just relax. So they finally land in Aspen, and the ladies are split up in 2 different vans, because remember that Kyle, Erika, and Rinna are going to be staying in Kyle's house, and then the rest of the ladies are going to be staying in the rental house, and then Diana is going to be in a hotel. Now, did any of you guys catch when they were in Kyle's van, Erika was asking Diana if she could buy all of them a house in Aspen? And let's be clear, Erika was not joking when she said that. She meant that. Ever since Diana stepped foot in this group, Erika has been so thirsty to get something out of Diana. Like, she really is fixated on Diana's money. Because I still didn't forget how she was dry begging for Diana to buy her that Cartier ring that retails for like $500,000 when they were in La Quinta for Kyle's store opening. That was embarrassing. I'm like, girl, if you don't stop it, just make peace with the fact that your old life is over.
Hide the money, y'all. There's poor people around. With your broke ass.
So anyhow, we see Kyle, Erika, and Rinna arrive to Kyle's house. And I have to say that Kyle's house is lovely. And then we have Garcelle, Cherie, Sutton, Crystal, and Dorit arrive to the rental. They're greeted by the concierge. And when I tell you that the rental house was gorgeous, like I would not have been mad if I didn't get to stay at Kyle's house. They had a wine cellar, the chef was there. I said, now that's how you do it. And one quick thing, I have to say, throughout this episode, the food looked amazing because the charcuterie tray on the plane looked good. The charcuterie tray at Kyle's house looked amazing. Like, my mouth was watering. So now we flip back to Kyle's house. They're all getting, settled in. And Kathy arrives. When I tell you Kathy had me screaming, she had on her coat, some pajamas underneath, and some slippers. Kyle was like, you were in the airport looking like that, sis? Like, people didn't recognize you? And Kathy said, no, because I had my mask on. And Kyle was like, girl, I'm sure they still recognized you. I said, Kathy, I was a bit surprised too. I thought that Kathy would look really nice going to the airport. She had no makeup on. I was like, okay, well, hey, if she likes it, then I love it. But I couldn't stop laughing because with me, I like to have a nice outfit on, face done up. You know what I'm saying? Like hair done, so. And I always thought that Kathy just flew private everywhere. I was surprised that she was flying commercial. Because can you imagine Kathy Hilton in an airport? And then we have Kyle asking Kathy if she plans on skiing. So Kathy says, well, I don't know because, my knees hurt. Like, I don't like when folks whiz past me. And it was so funny because Kathy was describing how she skis. And she was like, yeah, I like flap my arms out so that nobody's near me. I said, Kathy is such a trip. Like, I can't even imagine seeing her ski either. So now it's the evening and all the ladies arrive to Kyle's house, including Diana, because remember that she's at a hotel. And Mauricio starts putting the food on the grill. He has steaks and chicken and there's potatoes. Like, the food looked good. And they also had corn. And Kathy was like, can we have the corn grilled, please? Like, I want grilled corn. And so we see Crystal boiling some corn, and Kathy was not happy. She wanted that corn on the grill. I'm with Kathy because I like grilled corn over boiled corn any day. So I would have been annoyed too, like, you can't just throw a few pieces on the grill. So all the food is ready. Like I said, it looked amazing. And Kathy was driving everybody nuts. She was like, where are the utensils? Can I get some napkins? What steak should I pick out? Kyle's like, girl, I don't know. Take any piece you want. And then it was so funny because when she sat down to eat the corn, she was like, oh, this corn's not even cooked all the way. I said, will somebody throw a piece of corn on the grill, please? Because Kathy is over there upset. I don't know what it is, but there is something about grilled food. Like, it just tastes so good. So while everybody's sitting around eating and just talking amongst themselves, Rinna comes out of her room and she has a Ouija board. She says, look what I found in my room. Do you guys want to play it? Now, I'm going to let you know something right now. Certain things I don't mess with. And me personally, I don't care if I was filming a TV show. There are certain things that I'm not doing. And playing with a Ouija board is something that I'm not doing ever. Let's be very clear. I would have gotten up, packed up my stuff, and went to the nearest Four Seasons or Ritz-Carlton because absolutely not. I would not have stayed around.
Oh! Shout out to everybody. I had fun.
I gotta be good.
And I am certainly not the holiest person by any means, but certain things you couldn't pay me to mess with. And I was thinking, of all the other games you guys could play, that's the best you come up with? Really, Rinna? So anyhow, we have Kyle asking questions, and she says, do we all resolve our issues in this group? The Ouija board says no. So now Cherie goes on to ask if Garcelle's gonna find her soulmate this year. And I think the board moved it to a W. And Cherie says, what, a W? Like, we share a W in common. Remember that Cherie used to be married to Will Smith and Garcelle dated Will Smith after they were divorced. But they didn't know each other at the time. So of course, Kyle has to be messy and just stir the pot and make things worse. She says, why did Garcelle unfollow Erika on Instagram? So Erika's like, oh my gosh, really? Like, I'm 51, I'm not 13 years old. Like, move on already. Then we see a clip from 6 hours ago when they were on the plane. Kyle brought it up there too. And it's like, Kyle, what is your problem? I don't understand why you feel the need to bring things up at the worst possible times. If everybody's trying to be cordial and be at peace with each other, why bring this up? Why are you bothered about Garcelle wanting to unfollow somebody? That's between her and Erika. She has the right to do that. Why are you so pressed about it? And if I were Garcelle, I would have cursed Kyle out. Like, what the F is your issue? So now Garcelle jumps in and she's like, look, I don't need a Ouija board to answer that. I unfollowed you because you called me a liar. So now Erika says, well, I called you a liar because you were lying about caring about me. So Garcelle says, no, that's not it. You were trying to say that I was creating a narrative about your drinking and I wasn't. So now Erika says, but you repeated it to Dorit, and then when Dorit didn't join in, you went to Kyle. And then she adds, you repeated it though, no? So Garcelle says, I did repeat it, but I also said it to your face when we went out for drinks the other night, so don't try it. Now hold on for a minute because I want to call out some more hypocrisy. Why is it okay for Dorit to go around spreading Crystal's business about her eating disorder, but it's not okay for Garcelle to discuss her concerns about Erika's drinking? Garcelle is well within her right to bring this up amongst the group, especially when Erika went after her child. Why didn't anybody check Dorit when she brought up Elisa Rinna's wine tasting about Crystal vomiting every day? That was not her place. Once again, the double standards in this group are blatant. It's one set of rules for them and another set of rules for everybody else, i.e. Garcelle and Sutton. So now Garcelle continues on and she's like, look, calling me a liar really hurt me. I was emotional about it and I did something about it, which led to me unfollowing you. And I said, that's right, Garcelle. You did what you had to do, and I'll do the same thing too. I will never let anybody disrespect me. I'll block and I'll unfollow as well, period. You don't need to explain yourself for that. So now Kathy interjects and she says, may I say something? I just want to say that when you call somebody a liar, that's a really big deal. I don't like that. Then she says, I have 3 words. You can call me whatever you want to call me, but do not ever call me a liar, a thief, or a pedophile. So now they all start laughing, and Crystal's like, well, of course, nobody wants to be called a pedophile. Like, that's a bit extreme. But I understand the gist of what Kathy was saying because those 3 words carry a lot of weight, and you can't just throw those words around loosely. So here's where my girl Garcelle cleared. She was like, look, Erika, we don't have to be friends. I'm good. And you could tell that Erika was taken aback by that. She was very shook. She was like, well, okay, that's fine. Like, we don't have to be friends. I'm good. So Garcelle says, yeah, I'm good. Like, I don't want to be your friend. And then when Erika said, it's not all kumbaya, like, it's fine. And I was like, now, would you say it's not all kumbaya to any of your white friends? Like, I had a little bit of a side eye about that. And a few of you guys on Twitter were like, really, Erika? It's not all kumbaya to Garcelle? Like, a very interesting choice of words. So now we have Kyle jumping in because that's what she does best. And God forbid a conversation or an argument is not about her. She needs to make it about herself. Kyle is so self-centered. It drives me nuts. Anytime somebody has a story, she always has to bring it back to herself and her experiences. It's just so annoying. So Kyle brings up when Garcelle unfollowed her and Rinna last year. So Garcelle says, yes, I did because you pissed me off at the reunion and I unfollowed you both. So now Kyle's like, well, I understand that, you had your reasons, but Sutton, I don't understand you. Like, why did you unfollow Erika? Because I heard you say that it was a joke. Like, who is it a joke for? So now Garcelle says it was a joke between us two. And Kyle, I would have checked you right then and there if I were Sutton. Sutton is a grown-ass woman. You guys are both, in your 50s? How dare you question her like she's one of your children? She doesn't owe you any explanation of why she chose to do what she did. She had every right. And once more, why would you keep following somebody who has repeatedly disrespected you time and time again? So now you have Kyle saying, so you guys just said, let's just unfollow Erika as a joke? And I'm thinking, again, why do you care? That's their business. Also, it's okay for you guys to gang up on people and bully people and pile on. But when somebody claps back and says, you know what, I'm not dealing with this, now you're mad? How are you more mad at them unfollowing Erika, but you're not mad at Erika's behavior these last 2 seasons? And that's how I know that you, Erika, Rinna, and Dorit are probably sitting around making up plans to try to run Garcelle and Sutton off this show. So now even Dorit was confused because she was like, I don't understand why Kyle's getting into this. Like, it feels like she's pot stirring again. And I was thinking, Dorit, that might be the smartest thing you've ever said all season. Because that's exactly what your friend is doing. She's starting mess up for no reason. So now Kathy Hilton interjects and she's like, look, everybody stop all this arguing because at the end of the day, nobody is that important. None of us are that important, so just stop it. And I said, Kathy is correct because at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, really none of us are that important. Who is anybody where you need to take yourself that seriously? It's ridiculous. And I was glad that she said that to let them all know, like, calm down. It's really not that deep. Now we have Kyle getting up and she starts screaming. She's like, I'm talking about the intention behind it. It's all about the intention. I get what Garcelle is saying, but I don't understand why Sutton did it. And once again, it's none of your business. If Sutton wanted to unfollow Erika and everybody else because it's a Tuesday, that's her prerogative. Who are you to question her? So Sutton says, it's because she called me a see you next Tuesday, that's why. So now Kyle starts yelling at her and she's like, well, say that then, but don't say that it's a joke. And I'm thinking once again, Sutton does not owe you any explanation. And Sutton, I need you to get a backbone and start yelling back at Kyle. Stop letting her talk to you the way she does. And also, Sutton, Kyle is not your friend. Kyle is a dangerous person to be around because she'll pretend, she'll smile in your face, but all the while she actually hates you. So Sutton says, well, I didn't say anything because I felt like nobody cared. So now Kyle has the audacity to tell Sutton that she needs to stop playing victim and be more honest in this group because if she's not, then she's going to lose respect for her. I said the biggest victim in this group, the woman who is the most sensitive, who cries at the drop of a dime about anything and everything, is telling Sutton not to play victim. It was at this point where I was ready to just scream and throw my remote at the TV. I was just so pissed because the gaslighting is on another level. Sutton, I would have gotten up and told Kyle, here's my ass to kiss, don't ever speak to me again, and I would have went back to the rental house. Like, how dare you? The absolute nerve to call somebody else a victim. So Sutton is frustrated at this point, rightfully so, anybody would be, and she even says in her confessional, like, Erika called me a horrific name, but y'all are mad at me because I unfollowed her on Instagram? Can y'all explain how that works to me? And I was like, Sutton, you are preaching to the choir because it really makes no sense. These women are out to get you. That's just what it is. They're jealous, they're hateful, they want you off this show. They had no idea that you would turn around and be the fan favorite, and it eats them up inside. And because of that, they now want to run you off. But it's not going to work because you have all of us on your side. So now Sutton says to everybody, I haven't heard any of y'all defend me when she called me a see you next Tuesday. So now Rinna jumps in and she says, but why should we defend you? And I'm thinking, y'all have really lost it. You really think that this makes sense? It's okay for you guys to pile on her, but it's not okay for Sutton to clap back and be upset. Also, had Sutton called Erika a see you next Tuesday, y'all all would have been all over her, forcing her to apologize. Y'all would have made Sutton's life a living hell. I just think that it's just pure insanity and it's evilness at the fact that y'all want to play dumb and pretend like Sutton is in the wrong when you know that Erika is the one who needs to be issuing an apology. Rinna, let's be clear, count your days because this will be your last season on this show. All these little breakdowns that you're having on Instagram, the writings are on the wall, your time is up. I can't wait for Garcelle and Sutton to get you together at this reunion. I can't wait for these viewer questions because y'all are going to be the ones in tears. I mean, it's just so sick. Y'all are in your 50s. Rinna, you're what, 57, 58? And you think that it's okay to bully somebody like this and gaslight them? So now you have the idiot known as Diana Jenkins say under her breath, well, it's because you are one, in regards to Sutton being called the C word. So her and Erika start laughing like two hyenas. I was like, y'all look so dumb. So you have Sutton over there upset because she just heard what Diana said. She hears them laughing at her. And then Garcelle's like, wait, what happened? What did you say, Diana? Garcelle makes it clear that she hates that word. She's like, for a woman to be using that word against another woman, like that's just so disgusting to me. Like, it's really sad. Now, I don't speak for all Black people. I just speak for me. But that's never been a word that I've used. Yeah. And I have never heard any other Black people say that word. At least not the Black people that I know. There's a whole bunch of other words we can use. So at this point, Sutton looks dejected. She's like, I'm having a hard time. And then Garcelle jumps in and she says, because nobody's defending you. So now Diana interjects. She's rambling, making no sense. In my notes, I wrote inaudible because I had no idea what she was saying. All I caught was her saying that she's keeping a physical space between herself and Sutton and how she does not like Garcelle's best friend. And it was so disrespectful because she was talking about Sutton like Sutton wasn't even in the room. So Garcelle snaps and she's like, look, Diana, nobody wants to hear it, okay? Sutton is a human being. She has feelings. And what you're doing, what you're saying right now is not right. So now Diana snaps at Garcelle and she's like, would you rather me say this behind her back? I'm saying it in front of her face. And it's like, Diana, shut up. What you're doing is evil. Like, go back to your hotel and just shut up. Like, I don't want to see you. I really get mad every time Diana opens her mouth to speak. I don't want to hear anything that she has to say. I really don't. So here's where Diana really just lost her mind. And when I tell you the evilness really jumped out, she says, does she even have feelings? She came after me at my lowest, when I was bleeding on the effing floor. And I was thinking, girl, what are you talking about? Like, what are you saying? Just such a liar. When did she come after you when you were on the floor? Like, I don't remember you being on the floor and Sutton coming after you. I was thinking, am I in the Twilight Zone? Like, what is happening right now? And when she kept saying, she came after me, she came after me, I was like, if I were Sutton, I would have literally flipped that table over, because how dare you? And Diana, let's not forget that you didn't care when Sutton shared her story about her 2 miscarriages. The same way you feel like she didn't care about you, you didn't care about her and what she went through. The delusions and the lies to say that Sutton goes after everybody at their weakest. I was like, no, that's y'all. It's really a lot of projection, because what you were saying that Sutton does, you guys do that. Y'all get on people at their weakest. Y'all pick at people. You all break people down to the lowest possible point. We saw how they did Garcelle last season. And Garcelle broke down and cried when they were in Del Mar. We saw how they did LVP and Denise Richards. Y'all have been breaking Sutton down all season long. Y'all have been on her ass every single episode. And one more thing. What exactly would you guys have to talk about if Sutton weren't on this show this season? Y'all need to be saying thank you to Sutton instead of trying to drag her and come up with lies and tarnish her name. Because she's been carrying this show on her back all season long. Without her, none of y'all would have storylines, especially you, Diana, because we don't give a good you-know-what about what you have going on. Like I said, you've been a complete flop. So now Diana says that what Sutton did to her was unforgivable, and how she came out of her deathbed to Garcelle's party. I said, girl, you look pretty fine to me. You didn't look like you were on death's door when you came to Garcelle's party to start all that mess. And Garcelle should have kicked you out of her birthday party with that stunt that you pulled. Because I would have kicked you out, and I also would have given you that gift back, because I don't want that stupid book. So Diana's screaming at the top of her lungs. She gets up to go. She keeps saying that it's unforgivable. She's cursing, all this stuff. You have Sutton over there on the brink of tears. She has her head down. And then you have Kyle telling Sutton, Sutton, speak up for yourself. Like, say what you have to say. Like, if you don't want to be friends with her, that's fine. Y'all don't have to be friends. And it was like, shut up, Kyle. You started all this mess. I was just waiting for Sutton to go off on everybody and start screaming. Like I said, I would have lost it on that entire room. Because I'll be damned if I have a group of women in my face cursing at me and then gaslighting me like I'm the crazy one. At this point, everybody is silent. You know it's bad when Kathy looks like she's about to cry. You could see that she felt so bad for Sutton. And so you have Diana walking out and Erika and I think Rinna go after her. I'm like, y'all are just so pathetic. And so Crystal even says in her confessional that it's just crazy that they want to keep forcing Sutton to apologize. And it doesn't matter how many times she apologizes, they're still going to find fault with whatever she does going forward. So her apologizing again doesn't even mean anything. And Sutton, I had said this earlier on in this season, that I would not have apologized to Diana or Rinna about anything. You didn't do anything wrong. All you've been doing is standing up for yourself. The same way they defend themselves and they defend each other, you have the right to defend yourself and Garcelle, because that's your friend. They could never make me feel bad. They could never force me to give them an apology. And honestly, Sutton, when Diana threw her coat on to leave, I would have thrown my coat on and left too. I wouldn't have stayed for the remainder of this trip. I would have gone back to LA. I would have made such a scene that I would have made whatever Diana was screaming about look like a cakewalk. I would have shown Diana what crazy truly looks like. So everybody's still in shock. Garcelle is speechless. She's like, when Diana came over to my house a few days ago, she said that she would give Sutton a chance. Like, obviously, her actions and words don't line up. So we end the episode with Sutton breaking down, sobbing. Garcelle is sitting right next to her, and Garcelle was about to cry. Like, it was just so bad. Then you have Kyle trying to comfort her, and I'm thinking, you would never touch me. You started all this mess, gaslit the hell out of me, telling me that I'm wrong. But now you want to sit here and comfort me? If I were Sutton, I would have said, Kyle, y'all can fill in the blanks, because YouTube doesn't like a whole lot of cursing. But I would have let Kyle know, don't you ever touch me. Don't say anything to me. Kyle is a snake. She's disingenuous. She's two-faced. She's a coward. And I really wish that Camille Grammer was back on this show, because when Camille was on those earlier seasons, she let Kyle know, like, sis, I'm not the one or the two. I got your number, I see who you are, and Camille let Kyle have it every single episode.
And you're gonna always get it again and again and again.
Kyle was always in tears because Camille wasn't doing it. And Kyle, how evil of you to say that it's a tough group and Diana has the right to express herself and you respect Diana. I said, you know what, Kyle? I don't know if I can keep watching this show because I was just so angry. And Kyle, you're just a sick woman. The audacity. I mean, you really fix your mouth to say that Diana has the right to express herself, but every single time Sutton expresses herself, you shoot her down, tell her that she's wrong, tell her that she's difficult, tell her that she owes somebody else an apology, but Diana is okay. But Sutton saying that she doesn't want to be friends with Erika or Diana, and she unfollows somebody, that's the worst thing in the world. Kyle, I just want you all to know that you and the Fox Force 5 are all losers and clowns, and y'all are the ones who are ruining this franchise. This used to be a top-tier franchise, and now we're seeing 55-year-old women bullying another woman for no reason. And I don't care what anybody says, nobody can convince me that it's not out of jealousy. Y'all are jealous of her friendship with Garcelle because it's actually a friendship and not an alliance. You're also jealous that Sutton is the fan favorite. You're jealous of her status. You're jealous of her net worth. You can't stand the fact that Sutton has more than you do. It just eats you up inside, doesn't it? Sutton doesn't need this show the way y'all need it. Andy and the good people at Bravo, please, they have got to be fired. I can assure you that if Kyle and her crew are still on, I will not be watching. Sutton, check your DMs because I'm going to send you a list of reads to get everybody at this reunion. But y'all, that was the episode. As you guys can see, I was just extremely angry. It's just so awful what they're doing and it has to be stopped. But I hope that you all enjoyed this recap. Thank you all for watching. And you already know what to do. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.